Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are finishing up one of our last two industries and checking out our track layout up at the oil refinery. So we did get all that laid in. That was probably our last tricky layout anyway. We still have to do the coal mine, but that up there is not too tricky. Definitely a much longer run than we had here. Excuse me, but nowhere near as long. Uh-oh. Stop. Oh, flip that switch. Head on out to the oil. Go log. Whoops. Alright. Try that out one more time. Make sure everything is connected. Probably going to have to kick this one a little bit just because this is I think it's a 2.5% grade we went with on the upshoot here. So gonna have to give it a little bit of effort to get on up the hill is my guess. We did basically keep the same layouts, or wherever possible. We now have both sides are the fireproof bridge. Flame resistant red. It's probably my favorite of the new bridge colors, to be honest. I really like this red. Kind of cool. As you can hear, she's bogging down a little bit there. Come up the hill, and that's with no real load. But then this hill has always, 2.5–3% grades are a significant pull for the small locomotives anyway, and they you definitely can feel it with the little locomotives when you're doing the 3% grades. Even the big ones when you get the heavy loads. So not surprised that this one is bogging down like it is. And not that we're canning it either. I mean, we could definitely pick it up there. No problem. Not that we want to come screaming in here. It's our first test run up. We didn't go to the wall like we had last time. We finished all these out and wall, but to be honest, I like the bridge enough that I just wanted to have an excuse to have a little more red bridge in there. So, brought it all the way around the turn. So we did get up the hill okay. As you can see, we got rid of bump stops on the end, just kind of extended track this time. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it gives us a little more flexibility to get another car to the dock, was the thinking, without having to shunt so many of the cars around. Maybe we can get another one or two at the docks when we dock. I'm not sure if that'll work, but that was the idea there. So as you can see up here, we did have 3 locomotives that all had to run over to new track. All of them worked great. Really what I found works now is I just came in, deleted these 2 switches, and pulled the train, replaced them with new switches, and drove the trains right from the old track that they were on onto the new switches, and up here then placed the track behind them and just backed them down onto it. Switches seem to be a really good place to transfer from old to new track. At least that's what I've been doing. So now when I'm replacing, I just come in. The switches are the first thing I delete and replace with a new one. And then just run track in between. Seem to really pick up the pace of replacing the track and the ease of laying everything out. Just going from switch to switch. Well, it might not be perfectly in the same exact spot that it used to be. It finds a home. The track, that is. This one you can see here, our siding for our oil car is, or oil train is just long enough. I mean, the nose is hanging over there and it just sneaks by with the train. So we might extend that one out a little bit, being it is really pretty tight. Hopefully this isn't too sharp. We did get a little sharper than we want on that loop. I think because we lost some of the angle here, so probably relay that with a little more sweep out, and then that'll straighten out this part of the curve, which is kind of sharp, I'm thinking. But we'll see as we get running. I'm sure we'll smooth that turn out. It's always been a little oddball shaped, that turn, and so, you know, replacing it with these was a little bit difficult or different to do anyway. So we'll have some smoothing out, looks like, up there. But it does look like everything is functioning in here. This inside rail is a little sharp. You know, so we have a few little angles, doodads, and gizmos to go over as we want to make things look prettier. But so that seems to be doing the trick. Have to admit, so far the laying of all of the new splines, I have no complaints, haven't had any real glitches. Once you start working out the little bit of differences, then the rest of it seems pretty easy. I mean, as you can see, we still aren't perfectly straight here and there, but we didn't use, you know, like set in straight function or anything else, right? All of this has been hand laid with the new track, which is the idea. Still to have, we just free-handed the last setup, and so this one was about replacing while still free-handing. So I definitely know we can come in here and we can smooth out some of these wibbles and wobbles, which eventually we may or may not do. I don't know what the plan is as far as that goes. I guess I know we were talking some in the Discord the other day, and I still say with this, the whole layout with this one has been to freehand track, rough in an idea of a layout, and see how it works. Now we got the spline update and stuff like that, so it's been about replacing the old with the new, but still freehand and just kind of laying in our routes. And pretty and better functionality will come after we get, you know, the rough in there. So that's been the idea of this track and this layout the whole time. I didn't want to change that just because we got the beta. Or the new spline update in the beta. I just wanted to go through and do the same thing with the new track options. So, and have that new look of the new track, see what kind of functionality we get out of this. So once we get it all laid, I don't know if I'll head back to the main branch or stick with the beta. We'll have to see where we go. Do still have the mountain run out to the coal mine. I will probably plan on shooting a little more track laying type of videos heading out that way. Being that it is the last of the new rail that needs to go down, we did do one short playing video. I know those tend to get a little long, not super exciting, so haven't done a ton of those. But we do get asked about laying track here and there, so figure we will probably put some of that in the next video as we make our way up to the coal mine. All things considered, with the trees out of the way, I think the the debate of do you start a whole new track or do you relay your old track? If you get what I mean, do you delete the old rail and replace it with the new stuff like we did here? Oops. Or do you start all over? I guess I would say I was pretty happy with just being able to delete the track and replace it and not have to bring down all the trees again. So I think starting from scratch is probably much harder, or I don't want to say much harder. It's got its advantages and its disadvantages. But I do have to say, not having to cut down all the trees again, or at least only a few extra here and there, has been nice. So given the two options, I would, I think I'd stick with the just replacing the track that we did rather than starting all the way over from scratch and cutting trees, I guess. Unless you wanted to try some totally different routes. Though I could see us going through now and adding some new different routes and seeing what we can make work with the new rail. Just because, putting in optional routes now would be much faster than the old way. The old track was much harder to finesse into areas. This track is so much easier to finesse into areas that you want it to run. And I think when you run into a problem with this track is more because you're trying to cover maybe too long of distance in one piece, where you can always shorten that and really get the track to lay exactly where you want it to lay. If this might still be old rail. Sure is. We're gonna derail or no? Yep, sure did. Oh, I forgot. We did not bring it all the way back. So, well, there you go. Guess we'll call that one the end of the line. And I'll jump out, get these re-railed, and finish laying this track through up to the freight yard. Yeah, that's too bad. I totally forgot. Huh. That's a bummer. We were cruising on the new rail around the corner, and I totally forgot I didn't run it back to the freight yard yet. So, I guess we'll call that one a marginal success today, being we ended up off the rails. But say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.